Now it's my honor to introduce Chris Worthington, City Council member, the City of Berkeley, to award Clive Matson his sixth Lifetime Achievement Award. Chris Worthington, everyone.
So I'd like to invite Clive to come on up. So it gives me great joy to be here to make this presentation. When we first wrote this proclamation, we had it just signed by the mayor, and some of the city council members protested because they wanted to have their names on it too. So, because they heard of your work and they wanted to be a part of recognizing it. So the actual official proclamation is signed by all 9 members of the City Council. And whereas Clive Matson was heavily influenced by the beat poets in New York in the 1960s and has always had an eye towards cultivating the creative urges through his writing and activism, and has helped innumerable young and other Bay Area writers blossom into published authors. Whereas Matson studied at the University of Chicago and has taught over 3,000 writing classes, where he has been, his classes at Soledad Prison have been a popular favorite among burgeoning writers since the publication in 1998 of Let the Crazy Child Write, and was named the best writing teacher in the East Bay Express, Best of the East Bay. Whereas Clive Matson, throughout his career, has contributed immensely to poetry through multiple books, including Main Lines of the Heart and Other Poems, Equal in Desire, On the Inside, Heroine, Squish Boots, and has been the founder, publisher, and editor for the Scribbler. Whereas, along with Alan Cohen, he won the Penn Oakland Josephine Miles National Literary Award for one of my favorite titles for a publication, An Eye for an Eye Makes the Whole World Blind, Poets on 9/11, and has worked as an editorial capacity on more than a dozen volumes of poetry, including Lammy by Alden Van Buskirk with David Rattray. Whereas he has coordinated regular poetry readings since 1979. I was just checking if you were aware. Including the very successful poetry series at Cody's Books and the Poetry and Pizza series in San Francisco. Whereas his community activism and nonprofit work have been one of the most important parts of his life and our city's life. And whereas he has founded WordSwell to help people in extreme conditions, including chemotherapy patients, engage their creative unconscious and express themselves in a healing manner. And whereas more recently he started the Writing Occupy workshop, enlisting community writers to chronicle our tumultuous times. Whereas he is a poet, teacher, father, and activist who writes from an itch in his body. And this is not in there, but thank God he scratches that itch and gives us the product of his neighbors. Whereas the 10th Annual Berkeley Poetry Festival will honor Clive with a Lifetime Achievement Award for the wonderful and exciting work he has accomplished. Therefore, be it resolved that the Berkeley City Council hereby unanimously proclaims May 5th, 2012 as Clive Matson Day.
also for listening to Chris. And thanks to Chris for listening to Louis Cuneo, whose vision gave rise to this. Is he going to stand again, or is he going to just sit there? I don't know what to say, and there's so much ego involved in my work. And there must be in all of ours, just to do what we're doing. And so much humility. Just step aside and let the writing come through it. And I prepared many little speeches in my head, starting a couple of days ago, and last night, and this morning, and sitting over there. Finally, I gave up. I asked my mentor, Herb Hunke, I said, what do I say? He said, I don't have the slightest idea. I don't have the slightest idea. The one thing that strikes me is that this is a very democratic award. I've just been doing what I do. It's a cliche among writers that we know that people who win awards don't need them. They're already famous, they already have position, they already have money. This feels like a street level award. And you look at the other people who've won, and the number of them are here, we're all on the street level. We're just part of this wonderful community. What's the cliche? Tell me who won the prize, and I'll tell you who the judge was. Some jokes are better than others. Somebody else said that Berkeley is like the crazy child of the country or the planet. There's so much energy in this community, in this writing community, so much diversity, so much power. Really, we're blessed just to be part of it. I'm blessed to get this award. It's a cliche in my writing workshops that if you peel the skin off the world, you get in touch with this huge amount of energy, life force, stories, mythology, passions. So I want to say a little about how I started, really. No, I think I want to give a definition of poetry. See if this fits Adele's and Jack's. I think you peel the skin off the world and you find all that diversity, all that energy that Jack and Adele were talking about. What is poetry? Here's Lahner's idea. A good poem is the beginning of the world. There are no rules as long as the poem awakens the essence of your own experience. It is the emergence of language. I tell the story of an older poet I met who just looked like he'd be a friend of mine. I said, how did you get into poetry? He said, you know, teenage angst. I never left it. I think that happened to me too. So I fell into the creative unconscious, into the crazy child, and I got stuck there. My mentors, Alden Van Buster, whose way of indolence, he said it was indolence. He said, the fish love me, I am not lost. He said, I could write in all tones, mad and/or sweet drones. Ginsberg, I am I, old Father Fish-Eye. Michael McClure. So much to remember, so much to remember, so much to remember. John Wieners, the poem does not lie to us. We lie under its law. And at one height of his acclaim, we hope there's a lot more, he said, when asked how does he go into the depths and what happens there, he says, I don't know, I go there and I come back with answers? No. poems. Dime prima. The sidewalk is crumbling into diamonds. Isn't that interesting? The guys can point the way to the creative power in us, to the magic and power of the world. But it's the woman in her line that opens the portal. The sidewalk is crumbling into diamonds. Thank you all for being here, and thank you so much for this honor. And I think we're all honored